Hi everyone, Analogue Masterclass back again with the Roland TR606. Now, I wouldn't call this a classic drum machine by any stretch of the imagination. It's often referred to as the runt of the litter. You've got the 909, the 808, 707, 606. I actually think this is probably better than the 707, but not quite as good as, well, nowhere near as good as the 808 or the 909. Once again, we're looking at it because it's readily available and it's cheap-ish, okay? I'm selling this unit, or rather, it's been sold. So, I'll give you an idea of how much it sold for. £275, approximately, about $400 US, which is a lot of money, to be honest with you. You could pick these up in, well, a couple of years after the time of manufacture, about 83, 84, for very little money. I mean, I don't know, I think I probably paid like less than $100 in the 80s. This is probably my fourth or fifth TR606. It's one of those boxes that I sort of sell, I get sick of, and somewhere down the line pick it up again. Had a lot of these 606s, mainly because you can pick them up cheap, or you could pick them up cheap. Those days, I guess, are going, and like, a lot of plastic analog cased units, this one's actually pretty stable and pretty durable, but believe you me, there are plenty out there that will screw up on you heavily. Now, what have I got to talk about first of all on this unit? If you're getting a 606, okay, just like I guess a lot of other drum machines that we've gone through in the past videos, an essential modification, and when I say essential, I'm not talking about tonal modifications, alright, I'm just talking about, the practicalities of getting this thing going. A key thing is the individual outs. Now, we'll just pan across to the desk, if we can pan across to the desk somehow. Okay, you're going to need that. You're going to need these multiple outs in order to do any serious work on your faders here, or else you've just got a mono signal. If you've just got a mono signal, it means basically you're not going to be able to treat the snare, you're not going to be able to treat the toms. Now, as I'm doing this video, there's a little bit of reverb on it, okay, which I'm going to kill in a minute. I'll just crank it up a little bit more so you can hear it. Okay, so there's spring reverb on this at the moment. And I know. Well, don't worry, we'll roll that off. But as a lot of drum machines, they sound like total shit without it. Well, I think they do anyway. So just for me to be able to listen to it while I'm talking to you, I have to have that verb on. I will play it dry for you, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm going to see if I can boost this up a little bit. You can probably see the red LED flashing across here. You've got a lot of possibilities with this drum machine in terms of pattern creation and in terms of time signatures. But one crushing problem with it is there is no swing. There is no swing on it. Now, you may, with some ridiculous sort of modifications, you may be able to put swing onto it. But hell, for the amount of effort you're going to go to and the time and the money, forget it, okay? It's just playing straight. There's no swing involved. It's a very, very, it's a lot more, in my opinion, robotic than the 808 and 909. A lot of people say it distorts well. I can't show you that right now. I can't demonstrate that to you right now because obviously we have this one setting on the box. Other things to mention about it. When you're looking for a 606, one of the key things, like the 303, one of the key things you've got to look for is the rear battery compartment. Okay? You're going to have to look for that rear battery compartment. Why? Because a lot of the times it's going to be screwed. It's going to be screwed with battery corrosion. Someone, somewhere, has left the batteries in the back and they've corroded, and that will seriously screw things up at the back there. Okay, so badly that you may not be able to use batteries. I've had to actually replace the battery compartment, and it's an easy part to replace. I'm going to mention the company because I know the guy. No, I don't get commission. We wish. But they're very expensive parts, okay? It's just a little plastic battery lid, but you can find that replacement now really easy. In fact, you can get a lot of these parts on the front panel. You can find retooled Chinese copies, okay, that are perfectly adequate. And to be honest with you, it's well worth doing. It will actually put the price up of the unit. What else to mention? When you've done the modification, or when you've got someone else to do the modification at the rear, you're only going to be able to fit 3.5mm outputs. Okay, so I'm going to have to yank one out now to actually show you. Can you see that? Yeah, they're awkward and shitty. They're awkward, shitty things. They really are. And there's just no way around that. There's just not enough space in the unit to get anything decent, you know, to get a 1/4 inch or an RCA or anything like that. You're going to be stuck with these pretty fucking crap 3.5mm outputs. And again, then you've got to find 3.5mm to normal guitar 1/4 inch jacks, which isn't as easy as it sounds. I mean, if you're in the center of like London, New York, Los Angeles, yeah, sure, no problem. If you're in the middle of, you know, freaking Nowheresville, you're going to have to hit eBay up and all the rest of that stuff, and it's just a pain in the ass. Also, they tend to place a bit of strain on the back here, okay? When you've got the modification done for the separate outs, it's going to disable that sound from the main outputs. So what that means is you've got 5 outs, okay? We'll go through the sounds in a minute, but you've got 5 outs. So if you disable 4, that means you've got 1 sound left on the main out. So you can then, what I would recommend you can do is you can just use a 1/4 inch, which is a lot less easier, places a lot less strain. And also, and people may say, what the fuck are you talking about? But actually, the main output has a very, very slightly, not discernible at all, tonal difference. There's a slight tonal difference in there. Pattern creation is actually pretty straightforward and pretty easy. I'm not going to go through the whole thing of pattern creation, linking patterns, and all of that crap. We just don't have time in this video to go through this. Suffice to say, it's pretty easy. I'll flick it into right mode now, and you can probably see all the lights illuminated. That's because the pattern that's playing, this dial here, can you see? Yeah, you can see the different lights lighting up. That represents the actual instruments it's playing, which in this case, on this particular selector, is the closed hat. So to give you an example, okay, so elimination of the closed hat. Now you're hearing the open hat full on. That's how easy it is. And you've got it may not appear on this particular demonstration, but you do have a hell of a lot of variation on the hats. It's absolutely killer on the hats, because you've got like 3 or, well, I guess maybe up to 7 different tonalities on the hats. And it's just a question of combining stuff, putting the open over the closed, putting the open over the closed with the accent, putting the open with the accent, and it really does affect things. And you'd be absolutely surprised. Wow, you know, there's just so much variation in the hats. It's absolutely killer for that. On the flip side, the toms are pretty static. There's not much you can do with them. It's just low and high. What do people do? Well, they do the modifications. Now, I'm not going to go into all the modifications. There's so many you can do. I guess probably the second modification that you should look for is trying to sort out the kick drum, because the kick drum on this unit's shit. Okay, I have got quite a substantial EQ as the part you're listening to now on the kick. I'm going to just try and eliminate all the other parts so we can listen to the kick. That's it, okay. So there you go. There's the kick by itself. And it's, I don't know. For me, it's just about doable. You've really got to work the EQ, work the compression, work the limiter, whatever you have to do. But like I said, if you've got the separate outs, that's feasible. If you haven't, you're just stuck with this pretty pony kind of crap kick underneath all your other parts, and it's very difficult to get something workable that you'd want to work into a track. Okay, what else should we talk about in this unit? I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, apart from the price, for about, like I said, about $300 to $400 US dollars is what you should be looking at. Probably in the United States, it may even cost you a little bit more. Servicing, yeah. This is being totally serviced. There was a problem with the white noise generator again on the hats. Don't ask me why. It just seems to be a thing that happens to kick in a hell of a lot. I couldn't tell you why that is. The white noise generator on a lot of these drum machines seems to just freaking go sometimes. I don't know what more else to say. The classic unit, of course, to hook with this is the 303. Make no mistake, if you've got a 303 and this, you can do tracks, good tracks. We're going to demonstrate that for you any second now. I'm just going to go quickly through. I mean, everyone I would imagine who's watching this video is kind of aware of what the sounds are like, but I'm just going to fire through them. I'm going to turn off the verb. Okay, so it's kick, snare, open hat, open hat and sim, sim, thank you, high tom, and as you can hear, it's nothing amazing. Low tom, and finally closed hats. And for me, like I said, the best part of the unit is the hats. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up now. We're nearly up to 15 minutes. We're going to quickly blast a few minutes of a track. Hope you're all well. Probably the next video I do will be on a slightly more obscure unit. This is very well known. We're going to try and hit up a slightly more obscure unit on the next vid. That's about it. Take it easy, guys. Later.